Hey, what's up, guys? This is Coach Johnny, and this is Client Spotlight. This is Sofia. She's had an amazing transformation. She's been a long-time client of mine. She's an amazing person. She's got a great story, and I've asked her to share it with you guys today. And here it is.
It had a lot to do with my abusive relationship, with my abusive marriage. I had read an article that I'll never forget, because I was, doing nutrition, and it was a nutrition-based article about self-care and taking care of your body and all that. And I was reading this article, and it said that a man will treat his woman the way she treats herself. And that really hit me tremendously hard because I knew that I had basically been abusing myself, just kind of letting myself go and not working on me. So if I wasn't proud of me and who I was, why should he be? And if I was abusing myself, why would he treat me any differently? So that was really the pivotal point of me beginning to take charge of my health and taking my nutritional therapy knowledge and really applying it, because I never had before then. So I guess you could say I did it for the wrong reason. I did it for somebody else. But it was an epiphany. It was, wow, I need to change how I treat myself in order for him to change how he treats me. And I was wrong. I was terribly wrong, because the more I started getting healthier and losing weight and really making a change in myself and started loving myself to see if he would show love to me and treat me correctly, it just got worse. It escalated and escalated. The situation just got even worse because he became more and more self-conscious about himself, I guess, or more insecure. That's the word I'm looking for. So it got worse. I realized then that that's why he never complained about me being overweight. He kind of liked me not getting looked at. So I guess I'm assuming, but he never had an issue with me being overweight, but he definitely had issues with me getting healthy. Your next question is when? How long ago did this journey begin? So that made me think. It actually wasn't over 10 years ago, and I thought it was. This actually started around 2015, so almost 10 years ago. This was in 2015, and it started, like I said, with that article, and I really just started applying a healthier lifestyle, eliminating. This goes into your next question: how did you make these changes? So it started with just kind of doing the little changes. So balancing my gut health. So starting to take a probiotic to improve my gut health. Drinking my appropriate amount of water was a big one, because I definitely didn't drink enough water. That was a huge one. A little bit more movement, not being so lazy. Like, I really had to get up off the couch and just I became a pacer. To be honest with you, I started pacing around the house, like, because I, couldn't go anywhere. But I would pace the house almost all day, just going around in circles while I was on my phone, while I was working on my phone, or talking to people or whatever. I would just pace. That was my movement. I didn't know anything about, lifting or any kind of fitness, but I moved, and that definitely helped, just walking around the house. So the movement, the water, the gut health, and really just eliminating the chemicals. That was a huge one. So I started with that, just paying attention to the chemicals. If the food had chemicals in it, I didn't eat it. The elimination of chemicals quickly turned into keto, and I did keto for a very long time, and I'm talking like hardcore keto, like the original. It was more like a carnivore diet, so it was primarily fat, meat, and a few greens was really all I was eating, and then with the water. So I did that for a really long time. I kind of got addicted to it. And it just became my lifestyle for about 8 years. But the bulk of my weight came off within I shouldn't say the bulk, because it's been more than that now, but like the first 40 pounds came off within the first 5 months. Just from changing those things, I lost about 40 pounds in about 5 or 6 months. And I loved the change, and it was a quick change, and it was what felt to be a very healthy change. But then I plateaued, and it was getting harder and harder to lose weight off of keto after about 8 years or so. Not even 8 years. Maybe 7 years, 6 or 7 years of hardcore keto. And as you know, that turned into, I don't know if you remember or not, when that turned into an eating disorder. But that's when I really had to learn to eat properly and balance my hormones, which has done the most healthful change of all, has been learning which foods balance my hormones. And that's what I stick to now. So that's primarily fruit for me now. I eat a lot of fruit, a few vegetables. I eat a lot of, good, healthy, lean protein. Not as much fat. If I do have fat, it mostly comes from fruit, like avocados or, olive oil, coconut oil, things like that. So balancing my hormones has been key for the last 2 or 3 years. So those were the main changes. Your last question, what were those changes? Those were the main changes. So definitely, obviously, you have to change the way you eat and the way you look at food. That really began for me after the 8 years, and then developing that eating disorder that I didn't even know I had until I was hit in the face with malnutrition after going through my separation. Like I said, I don't know if you remember me calling you that day. I freaked out because my lymph nodes were swollen and I didn't know why. And it turned out that it was linked to malnutrition. So I had to, I freaked out and went out and bought $200 worth of fresh groceries that I hadn't eaten in 8 years. I was excited about eating an apple and I couldn't choke it down. I was terrified to swallow a bite of apple, and it freaked me out. I chewed on a single bite of apple for about 10 minutes and I couldn't bring myself to swallow it. And then I looked at my sweet potatoes that I was so excited for, that were on my counter, and I started to cry. So yeah, gaining that weight back really freaked me out, because I had worked so hard for it for the previous 7 or 8 years. So yeah, that's when I really had to learn to look at food differently, and even knowing what I knew about nutrition, it was difficult. It was really hard. But that's the main change that's going to make the biggest difference, is looking at food differently, and wrapping your head around the nutrition. Eliminating the chemicals are huge. And water, most important, water. I think those are really the two main factors there. You cannot do this if you don't change the way you look at food, the way you eat, and drink your appropriate amount of water per day, and movement, obviously.
And there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next Client Spotlight. See ya.